The Wikipedia page calls
I didn't
him a
get the whole-
rapper.
You can edit your own Wikipedia page.
It's a thing,
What that
bruh.
mean?
People.
Hey, yo, I'm trying to start the show.
Go ahead.
Wow.
I can moisturize while you go. Go ahead. Yeah.
That's right. Life
It's
review.
a thing.
Yo, the
It
wheels is
happens.
coming off. What you talking about? Yo, it's crazy, man. We here, man. That's Eddie in LA. We got Low Nadeska. I'm Ebro. Oh, man, we're going to get back to that one.
Yikes.
It seems like people are also arguing about this on social media, which I find, I was confused. Very, very interested in this. But first, the new releases. Shout out to A AP Ferg continuing to release some heat. He putting out some heat. I love this Future Mike Will Made It. T Grizzly album's fire. Shout out to T Grizzly on his 5th album. Toosie's back outside with Jaded. 310 Baby. I did not listen to this album.
I listen to it. It goes. If that's okay. So here's the thing nowadays with West Coast music. It's in a different place, bro. West Coast music is very niche to people outside of the West Coast. So
it's been that way for a while. Like the Bay Area sound. There's been sounds that are very, very local, very regional. Let me not call them local, just regional.
It's very regional. So if you're into that like younger West Coast, like that Blue Bloods Clan and, you know, the OGZs and people like that, you can listen to this 310 Baby and it'll give you what you're looking for. So if you like West Coast rap, yeah, go crazy.
And he's a young kid too, right? He's in high school.
Yeah, like when his song when Soak City went up, he didn't even graduate yet. So I don't know if he graduated since then or whatever, but I believe when he first blew up, he was like 17, 16 years old.
Let's deal with Lauryn Hill and Pras quickly.
Okay.
Did you guys watch this in Nadeska? Did you see this unravel on the socials, on the internets, by any chance?
I did, but I don't know what to make of any of this, so I guess you should help us out.
So Pras is going through what he's going through with the Malaysian stolen money and somebody paying him $20 million to get a photograph with Obama. To come to find out the money he got paid was stolen from some Malaysian thing.
See what I mean?
Yeah. By the way.
Serious charges.
Serious charges. Wolf of Wall Street, also the movie, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio had to go to court. The same thing Pras was in trouble over, which is bananas.
Hold up, man. Did you say that the fictional character, did you call Leonardo DiCaprio? Like, Leonardo DiCaprio ain't have to go to court?
Yeah, he did.
Like, the actor Leonardo DiCaprio?
The actor Leonardo DiCaprio had to appear in court because of the financing from the Wolf of Wall Street film.
Wait, what?
Exactly. This is what I mean, Eddie. You can follow it. It doesn't sound real. It does not sound real.
It doesn't sound real. I know why you're tripping, because I was tripping too.
Hold up.
Right.
Scorsese couldn't get the money for Wolf of Wall Street?
Bruh. It was the financing, bro. I don't know.
Imagine Pras being the plug for that.
No, Pras wasn't the plug for that, y'all. It was the fact that this dude, what's his name?
Stop trying to explain it. It doesn't even.
Joe Low is his name. Okay. Yeah, Joe Low. I was just looking at
Zane, get your cousin.
Then Swizzy has a thing right now because it's the same
like
dude.
Some 7 million shit.
Yes, it's the same guy, bro.
Yo.
Meanwhile, he was stealing money. Nobody knew though. Like people was just thinking this guy was a billionaire. Was just kind of like wanted to.
He just swiping funds.
So he's showing up to parties, inviting people out. Like, hey, I want to get involved in some dope shit. And they're like, all right, let's rock out.
Just scamming.
Come to find out,
scamming.
Bro stole all the money. Now he's on the run somewhere in China. And can't nobody get to him.
The Joe Low guy.
Meanwhile, Swizzy and Pras all getting shook down. But anyway, then the Lauryn thing comes in because Pras is suing Lauryn.
For breach of contract, okay. Perhaps,
and then like I know
also
Lauryn,
for fraud. How can you, facing these charges, turn around and sue somebody else for fraud?
But wasn't Lauryn funding his like legal funds? Okay, yeah.
She had to do 7 bullet points explaining
she fired off
why this is outrageous, but only one is worth reading. She says,
like he's in breach of contract.
Despite his attacks, she says, I am still compassionate and hope things work out for him. If I were her, I would have just skipped to that part in the response.
Well, nah, but
you didn't have to give me that whole
shit.
Yeah, like
so. Yeah, Lauryn doesn't normally engage in this way. Right. The last time we saw Lauryn publicly engage in beef was Lost Ones. It's funny how money changed situation. That was the
last time.
When's the last time you seen her publicly like go at somebody?
That was what, decades ago?
30, almost 30 years ago.
30 years ago. All right, yeah, she's back outside.
And currently, I think she's also on tour. I just saw that she's in Europe touring. So there's that part. She's still out here. The other thing I wanted to get to before we get to why y'all was arguing was Eve. There was some conversation amongst you all around Eve selling her catalog. For $25 million.
Okay.
A deal worth between $25 and $50 million.
Okay.
I know this is, in 2022, Irv sold his stake in what is reported a deal for $300 million in his stake in Murder, Inc. Let's see here. Bryson Tiller and producers Murder Beats and Cardo, they sold their catalogs, but it doesn't say for how much.
I know Dream sold some of his catalog. I think Justin Bieber sold some of his catalog.
Future sold his publishing, his songwriting from 2004 to 2020 to something called Influence Media Partners for a reported $475 million.
Is there a shift of why these things are happening so rapidly?
I think that the offers are there. I think venture capitalists and people who want to own things are trying to find ways to own music and then, exploit it in other means, licensing for movies, different technology applications, different ways. And if you're a songwriter or, a music maker, it's a new revenue stream at a time where, there's streaming's allegedly not making a lot of people a lot of money, record sales. So where's your revenue coming from? And if, I've heard some people are selling their catalogs and putting like a 30-year kind of thing on it. So while they sold it for this period of time and got money for it, a company will take that and try to make money on licensing it out and making money on it. But over a period of time, that will come back. So, Future's children, if he's still around, family members could benefit off it. And you got fronted $400 some odd million to make other financial investments and do other things.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't see a problem with it. Eddie, you seem like
I want to believe in some kind of conspiracy. That's just what I want to do.
Wow.
Because here's why. Because it seems like to us, the knowing public, all these people started selling their catalogs in a fairly recent time. Like, we don't have a timestamp of if this was a normal thing until the last few years. So anytime a whole bunch of people do something at once, especially like with bigwigs, we're like, yo, what's going on? What's the conspiracy? Since I'm not smart enough, or maybe I'm not dumb enough to figure out the conspiracy, I can't really figure out what it is, but I want to believe in it.
I don't think you got to look that far, I'll be honest. I think you have a lot of investment firms that have money to spend on things that they think they can leverage to make money. Different show for a different conversation, but it's just the same reason why these venture capitalists or investment firms went out and started just buying homes. And you were like, yo, why y'all buying up all the homes, bro? Like, now nobody can't get into a home. Well, because they saw an opportunity to take money, aggregate a bunch of things into one fund, and then leverage that to make more money.
And that's what they're doing with music.
It's just investment. It's just like, yo, I have $1 trillion to spend on trying to make $3 trillion, $5 trillion, whatever the return needs to be. What are some things that we can monetize
an asset that appreciates.
That's right. That appreciates.
I think you want to believe in the conspiracy because we have like emotional ties to the music. So we want to believe that. Why don't you hold on to this? Hold on to your catalog. But in addition to the things Ebro is saying, it's like also really similar to having startups, right? People grow these huge multi-million-dollar businesses and then cash out to bigger companies that can run it better. So I feel you, Eddie. I think we all want to believe in the conspiracy, but at the end of the day, it's like a good business deal. And if they're making informed decisions with lawyers and reading the contracts and they know what they're signing up for, I really can't be mad at it.
If it's a viable decision it's a sound decision.
You don't want to do it when you don't have the leverage, right? When you're at the end of your rope and you're broke and you know what I mean? Then you just have to cash out for cheap. I think that's the worst case scenario.
Let me get in the middle while it's still viable right now where I can get a nice little bang for my buck. Boom, here.
Well, you're right, Nadeska.
Nice, healthy capitalism sometimes.
I don't know if it's... make no mistake, they're not doing it because they give a fuck about hip-hop. They're doing it because it's all business. Like, it's a financial
It's an asset. That's all it is. It's an asset.
In my heart of hearts, I want the artists to have their music, but I also understand it because I had some kind of it's about as similar as I can get in a situation. A few years ago, I sold my house, and my homie was like, why'd you sell your house? You can rent it out. You can make so much money. And I'm like, because motherfucker, I bought it a long time ago and I can get a lump sum of money now, and I just want to have a lump sum of money. I don't want to do this forever.
And just like that, great example. And do you want to be responsible for managing the renters and fixing and doing the maintenance stuff? Same thing with a song. I could go out and license the song myself, but then I got to do the phone calls,
sample clearances,
do all the clearances, hire the lawyers, and run the business. And some people are like, I ain't doing all that, bro. They got people who do that.
Right.
Like, give me my bread. Y'all go make some money too.
Y'all have fun with that too.
And then,
run me my 50 mil.
If they gave you $475 million, this is the part that people get caught up on. If they gave you $475 million, I guarantee you they think they can make triple that.
Yes, but you know what?
They may not.
Man,
But they think.
look, bro, rich is rich, man. Once I got $475 million cash in hand, we going to the same stores. Our boats are located
Eddie,
in the same place.
The way you be
Right.
shopping
We
on
buying
Rodeo,
cars.
Yeah,
though,
like you was just on Rodeo.
I think the
You're
money
not-
runs out faster than you
Yeah,
think.
that money-
that money would be
Lifestyle
gone.
creep is a real thing, Eddie. The more money you make, the more money you spend. Like, people don't really check in on that.
Not
so
always. You can get it out of your
most,
system.
Well-
most
Oh, with
times.
him.
He
In my
hasn't got it
case-
out of his system yet. That's
No,
what
that's why- yeah, that's what you said, what you
Remember that
said.
lump sum I told
When
you I
does
got
one
for
get
that
it
house?
out of their system? Eddie is not like 25. What are we talking about?
No.
I ain't got that money no more, guys. I'd already burnt through that money for that house I just talked about. So yes, I will
Nigga,
run
you
through
was
it.
just on Rodeo last week in the group chat.
Yesterday.
Last night.
Last
Oh,
night
yeah.
in the side group chat. I'll tell
Yesterday.
you. But he got some good shit yesterday.
But no,
Again.
I
Some
do
nice
know
stuff.
people that doing the small like shopping on Rodeo or the high end shopping thing.
Yeah.
It does get out of their system, and they're like,
I'm good.
I have this. Like
I'm
maybe
good.
I get a couple of things.
Yeah.
But I'm doing other things now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Right,
does.
yeah.
I think there are a lot of
They're making
artists
smarter
and
investments.
athletes who have not made such smart decisions over
'cause
time.
they
Because they
So,
never
you
seen
know,
that kind
they're
of
young
money.
or
Yeah.
they've never
They
seen
get
that
this
kind of money before.
Yeah. They've
I'm
never
not-
seen.
Listen, if they're fortunate like you to have made lots
Like
of money
me.
over an extended period of
Yo,
time.
it's
She
always-
looked at Ebro like, what?
It's always crazy when the person on the sofa who's doing the best financially
Yes.
has the nerve.
Yes, the nerves like when they're fortunate like you. Like, hold on,
No,
brother.
what do you? I wasn't saying anything bad. I was saying that you've gotten it out. Like you probably could go shopping and buy expensive stuff.
I
but
too will be like Eddie when my mortgage is paid off. That's the plan.
Wait,
I done
you
spent
know,
all that
you-
money.
I'm just
she's
postponing
fronting.
it.
She's so frightened when her mortgage is paid off. She's gonna buy another home and buy another
Another
asset
farm.
and leverage that.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not
So
wrong.
yeah, my point exactly. Lastly on the program, we will get to your comments
Lastly.
about the misunderstanding of what J. Cole said and basically picking apart Eddie's list. Because the Barbs were in there as well for you, Eddie.
Okay.
And Nicki Minaj. I mean, and
You saw
Andre
my list, right?
3000.
Yeah, I did. You tweeted your list, yeah.
We will now reignite the conversation between Eddie and Low over Tommy Richman.
Okay.
That is what you saw at the beginning of this segment was a full crash out almost with Low and Eddie hurling profanities at each other over Tommy Richman.
Crazy.
All because Tommy Richman tweeted, "I'm not a hip hop artist."
When what he should have tweeted was, "I'm not a rapper." That
Okay.
might have saved a lot of drama.
Or
for him.
just shouldn't have tweeted anything at all.
And
because-
DJ Head said, "Glad I got the PSA before I did my radio mix. I now have 2
Saw
open
that shit in
slots.
real
What
time.
should I play from an artist proud to be hip hop?" Okay,
How do you want to do?
I just want to set the table that hip hop has gone so far, it has influenced all types of music.
Right.
The same thing with R&B. R&B influenced so many things. Same thing that jazz did. You know, now we're going all over. It influenced so many different genres. There were spin-off genres, subgenres, whatever.
Right.
I think to your point, if Tommy Richman would have said, "I'm not a rapper," many people would have agreed.
Black and white, done and done. He's
But
a trained
because
opera
his
singer.
song used elements of hip hop stylings, the way the beat's made, the
Right.
way he's singing or rapping, or is he sing rapping, whatever he's doing, I think people got offended. Am I figuring it out right? Is that articulating
That
it
was-
right?
that was
I
great
think
summary.
I think what the argument, well, not argument, I think what the conversation is, like you said, the elements of what Tommy Richman has been doing on these records, you know, on $1 Million Baby and on Coyote, you know, his album just came out. I think he's snatching those elements of hip hop and R&B and utilizing them to his capacity, to his advantage. And they're being played on these hip hop and R&B stations.
Okay, but
Right.
many artists have done that. Who
I
are
know,
not
no.
also
I
not
know.
quote-unquote
No,
hip-hop.
I understand that, but I think where the confusion or I think the frustration comes in with a lot of fans of him or just of our culture, when you try to say like I'm not that or I'm not of that.
You take offense.
Yes, so that's why I understand where DJ Head can.
Oh, one thing.
can
By the way, I want to say this. It has nothing to do with Tommy Richman. I'm glad
no,
people are feeling some type of way.
That's a conversation that's been had.
I'm glad people are feeling some type of way because many artists have co-opted elements of hip hop and then thrash elements of the culture,
Yeah.
right? Like, or act like they're too good for black folks, or act like they're too good for certain aspects of hip hop,
Right.
but use the 808s and use sampling and use these things that come from
the melodies,
our shit, right?
Yeah.
Rob Markman had a great YouTube video where he breaks down the whole thing talking about, and it's not only the fact that they use hip hop elements and they're in the culture, it's that at some point they denounce it. And he brought up Miley Cyrus and he brought up Post Malone. And not only will they use hip hop to catapult their own personal success,
It's a temporary fix.
It's very temporary. And then they'll not only just switch genres, they will talk bad about hip hop.
Yep.
So the bigger conversation, in all honesty, Tommy Richman's tweets were pretty innocent, right? It was the bigger context in which we're viewing his tweets. It became a conversation bigger than him. Right. So there's nothing wrong in what he's saying. And what you came in and saw me, Low, arguing about is Low was saying he's not a hip hop artist. But I understand it's getting so muddy and murky in what hip hop is now. People would look at someone that because now hip hop isn't music, hip hop is culture. Right. So if you look a certain way, you move a certain way, now you're in hip hop. Right. Don Toliver is somebody who is a singer. Don Toliver sings. They call him a rapper. Tommy Richman is singing, but because there's hip-hop elements, I could see how someone would call him a rapper. And we don't know what people are saying to him in private. So it looks like the conversation came out of nowhere, but I could very well see someone interviewing Tommy Richman and call him a rapper just strictly off the way he dressed, strictly off the beats. And he's probably, and I'm assuming because I don't know Tommy Richman, he's probably trying to set the record straight with no real malicious intent, but because we know the history of hip-hop specifically and our culture and how they use it, then they eject off.
But there was no conversation.
Hold on. Let me cook. And on the bigger picture, it's not even a hip-hop thing. It's a black music thing where our music has been, whether it's rock and roll, whether it's jazz, and we've had this conversation a million times, some white dude co-ops it, and then it's not ours anymore. So we take that shit personal. Now, I don't think Tommy Richman meant to do that, but we are putting this we're contextualizing it in the history of what we've seen in American music.
I want to thank Tommy Richman for starting this conversation at this current moment in where music is at. Because whether he meant to or not, I hope he manages it correctly going forward. But I think for an artist like Tommy Richman, and to Eddie's point, I think a kid growing up right now who wants to make music, popular music, guess what's going to be a part of it?
Hip-hop.
Right? And so the intent might just be, I just want to make popular music. Mm-hmm. Which might have been what he was trying to articulate. Like
literally what he was trying to say is that I don't rap. Because he said it multiple times in the tweets. I'll say it again. Thankful for everything. I don't want to be boxed in. I grew up on hip hop, but I'm a singer. And he said it again in the next tweet. I'm a singer. He's like a trained opera singer. So I think, he definitely said the wrong thing. I think we could all agree on that. Right. But he was literally trying to say, like, I don't rap. I actually am like a trained singer. And I wonder, so listen, I agree with you all on artists having this responsibility. I feel like when Eminem came into this culture, that was a huge conversation. Obviously, he came up under Dre, and I feel like to this day, M is still trying to prove to us that he belongs here and he like worships this culture. I get it. Whose responsibility is to talk to artists like this about how to approach this as a navigator?
I don't know if it's a who as much as it's a...
But I mean, he's signed to Brent. Brent is of this culture. Yeah. So I wonder if that's a conversation that ever came up with them.
Tweets, but I'm sure they reached out.
He's managing his tweets.
Well, I'm sure they've reached out since this tweet, though.
I'm just...
That's all I was just trying to say. I think
go ahead, Nadeska,
I know Brent and his team. I'm sure they was like, "Yo, Tommy, jump on the jack real quick. We need to."
I'm just saying that maybe that conversation just needs to come a little bit earlier.
But isn't it their responsibility?
Who's they? Like the label
the artist?
Or him,
no,
or?
The artist. Like, isn't it their responsibility? Like, they're coming up under this culture of wanting to make music, wanting to make something that is pivotal, something that it's stands the test of time.
I'm not saying it's not their responsibility. I'm just saying that the way that we are so ingrained in this culture and we're so emotional about it and we're so attached to it, this kid clearly did not grow up the same way. He said he grew up listening to rock and rap came for him later.
But every element of what they do is so
not
carefully.
Saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
It sounds like he's trying to protect it. Like I think he's
protect what?
If he's telling you, I'm not a hip-hop artist, I'm a singer, he could be saying that out of respect, like, yo, fam, I'm not trying to say I'm a rapper. I'm a singer, guys. I'm just here to sing. It could be out of respect in which he's saying it, but the view in which we see or interpret those tweets is throughout the history of how hip hop and black culture is treated throughout music. So we get defensive, and I'm not even offended that we get defensive. We should get fucking defensive.
I said I like it.
Yeah, agree. But it's like we have that lens. He doesn't necessarily have it. So I'm not taking the responsibility off of him. I agree with you, Lo. What he said was not correct. But I don't think he's like trying to be disrespectful.
So now I'm gonna throw this out. We meet artists too early, right? Because of the way things go now, they don't have time to learn. There isn't people going, yo, check this out, fam. You might be asked this, you might be asked that. It's just a fast track to the bank, to the tours, to everything's, boom.
Right.
Motherfucker drop one song and be like, yo, I want to do an interview. You'd be like, about what? Like, you got one song out. What are we talking about? Like, you haven't even done nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even want to go there.
It's easy to prep for those, though. You don't gotta do no research.
You have to do no research. But you'd be like, yo, all right, I listened to your lyrics of your song. Tell us about yourself.
I like those interviews. It's easy.
But my
no
point
prep.
is that everything's moving fast. And so the reason I'm thanking Tommy Richman, I'm thanking DJ Head, because I think this is a healthy conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it's one that somebody like Tommy Richman, who I think people like, right? Like, I think they like his music. I don't know him personally. I met him one time.
I like his music.
I listened to Coyote.
I like
Album's
Coyote.
good. I like it.
Album's
like
good.
his music.
Okay, boom,
Yeah.
boom. It's an opportunity for him to say he learned something. As a white person entering a space that is influenced by black music and black culture and black lives, right? Something as an artist saying, yo, I didn't realize how sensitive this was, and I didn't understand how traumatized this hip hop culture and
But
black.
see, like I can't lend that. I can't, because if you're saying that you grew up on this culture,
He's not saying that.
He did say it. He said, I grew up on hip hop.
He said, I got
music.
into hip hop
also-
later, that he grew up in
Well,
rock.
he did say he grew up later, but you could also listen to hip hop over the last decade, what's popular, and not get any mention of the things that we learned in hip hop in the 90s, right? Like, you could be into popular hip hop right now and get zero mention of the responsibility and the role that black music plays in the zeitgeist, or what it means to popular music today. If I'm a kid, I'm 16 years old, and me and my friends is listening to what we think is popular and what's gonna help us hang out and meet cool people and girls or whatever we into, what music is that? 310 Baby ain't talking about it.
Boss Man D-Lo's not talking about it.
And
Again,
also,
brings
too,
you back to my point of, shouldn't some of this be on the people around him to like have these conversations with him before they throw him out into the world?
But now we're but once again, I want to thank Tommy Richman. I want to thank DJ Head. I think these things happen, and it's an opportunity for people to learn that this shit is important. Because I'm gonna tell you another thing that happens, right? That I see all the time is some kid grows up in a neighborhood where they think it's cool to speak a certain way, right? Happened to Lotto. Right? Lotto came out as mulatto.
Yeah, mulatto.
Motherfuckers was like, no, you not. Like, what?
Yeah.
We're not using slave terminology. She was like, well, that's what they called me as a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Nobody had told her.
And
so
shout
boom,
out to
she
her
got
for
out in the
changing
public.
it.
She was like changing it up,
My
switching
fault.
it up.
Yeah.
There's been kids that ain't black that get on national plat. They come from the hood and they be like, yo, around my way, I get to use the N-word. What y'all talking about?
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, nobody told you that don't fly. That don't fly. You don't get, there's no universal N-word pass where you get to just walk around using the N-word and everybody gonna be cool with it.
Like, all right, cool.
It doesn't exist, fam.
How many times are we going to have this conversation or ask these questions when
As long as kids keep being born and missing history lessons
like an
and putting out
ambiguous
music
artist
and
comes.
saying stupid shit. I mean, he didn't. Don't Iggy
I'm not
Azalea
bla- I'm not-
yourself.
I'm not-
Remember when everybody tried to talk to Iggy? Like, bro, you got to be respectful of this culture that you're in. She was like, "Fuck all of y'all." That's some disrespectful shit. This is a little bit.
Iggy Azalea disrespected Q-Tip on socials,
That was
bro.
crazy.
Motherfuckers was like, whoa.
Where's she at now? Cool.
Exactly,
All right,
but
yeah.
I'm saying, you're right. There are lessons to be learned, but not everyone. People will make the mistake. How they move next is really important to watch. Right?
I do hope that he hears these conversations. I do hope that.
Otherwise,
behind
Will will be
closed
on your
doors-
ass.
I know.
But
it's
no, but I
not.
don't even know. How did you get to the point where this guy's problematic, though?
Who?
Off of one tweet. Like, you're like, I hope he gets to the point. Like, why wouldn't he? He was already trying to be like, yo, I don't want to offend. Like, I'm not a
Yeah, I mean,
hip-hop
he's
artist.
doing damage control, but I hope like
Is it
someone.
damage control, or is he just
Yeah,
like,
it's
yo,
fucking damage control. What are you
It's
talking
not,
about? Of
bro.
course, like, yo, I
Sometimes-
didn't mean to say it. Yeah, that's what that fucking is.
Bro, son, Lo, you tweet all the fucking time, bro. Like, you tweet all
What
the
does
time.
that have to do with me?
If let me finish my fucking statement,
All right, well,
I'll
finish
get
your
there.
fucking
Because I
point.
say one thing and then you cut me off. sometimes you just tweet stuff and you don't know how everyone else is going to interpret it. So he's just probably like, yo, man, let me clear this up. I'm not a hip hop artist. You find out everyone gets offended. I've done it where you just tweet something and all of a sudden everyone's hitting me back. And I'm like, whoa. That wasn't
That's damage control.
That wasn't my intention.
That's
That's
damage control. That's literally damage control.
And if we're gonna be like good, older hip hop, homies, OGs, unks, or whatever the case may be, we take this as an opportunity. We can't just shit on everybody.
I'm not shitting on him. I'm saying I hope that he learns from this conversation. I hope that he watches these conversations. I hope that he even has conversations behind closed doors. Like, oh, I understand what this means. I understand what I may have stepped out of track. I shouldn't have even said it at one point. I get it. Now I understand. Like, I don't think he got it when he said it.
He got it because he kept retracting what he kept clearing
damage
up what he
control.
Y'all
so what the fuck do you want? Do you want him to
I'm
clear
just
it up?
saying he did damage control. That's all I'm saying.
So how do you want it, bro?
Retraction, damage control is the same thing. What are y'all
That's
arguing
all I'm
right
saying. He did damage control.
This man can hold a grudge. I would never want to
I'm
get
not
into like
holding
a
a
beef
grudge.
with you,
All
bro.
I'm
He
saying
would
is he
never-
did
There
damage
were no
control.
mistakes around
You just
Lowkey.
said you would hope he would learn and he would this.
That's
and he
the
would
whole
that.
fucking
Then he
point of this
did the next
conversation.
I just like
tweet.
watching y'all argue. It's great.
And you're like, I just wish he would. Like, bro, you just
I said I
you wanted him to
hope
do the thing
that
he did.
moving forward, he takes more credence into speaking about a culture that he's involved in. And I think that he's
did the
doing
next
that, and that's
tweet.
cool. And I hope moving forward, he continues to do
Yo,
so.
Eddie, weren't you saying that that's what he was trying to do from the initial
That's what I'm saying.
tweet?
I hope he continues to do so. That's all I'm
That's what
fucking
I've been
saying.
saying for the last 10 minutes.
All I said, I hope he continues, not starts. I hope he continues. Where am I fucking missing the mark? I'm not condemning this. I'm not saying, yo, we gotta get him out. I said, I hope he continues to learn from this mistake.
Eddie, you finished? You done? You finished or you done?
Am I bugging? Like, there's about 7 motherfuckers in here. Like, am I bugging? Anybody?
Tell me the truth, y'all. Tell me the truth.
Am I
Oh, there's
bugging?
some
No, you crashing out. You crashing out.
Because I said I hope he continues to learn from this.
That's not the part of what you said. It's y'all back and forth. You could have said anything.
All right.
We was just entertained by your back and forth. Let's get to the comments this week on YouTube. Eddie.
Hey, hold on. I love you, Lo. I love you, Lo. That's my brother. We just be yelling. We just be yelling.
You know my brother.
Man, y'all ain't got to clean it up. Y'all got to figure out how to work together anyway.
No, that's my guy.
Misunderstanding of what J. Cole said. A couple of people in the comments said he's the GOAT just from features, not the GOAT of features.
You know what I can't do if I interpret it the way he meant for me to interpret it? I can't make a list. So therefore, I don't care how he meant it. I still got my list off.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
appreciate your
Jermaine.
honesty every time.
Thank you, Jermaine.
Good looking.
I mean, we didn't give him enough credit though for his features. Like, so I think we decided on Drake and Wayne. I don't know what like the time period is we were counting. I think I said something like him being consistent for 3 to 4 years, but it's really been like 6 years. So he's already got 6 down. What if he goes strong for another 4? Is it a different conversation at like 10?
No, I think lists change, man. They evolve.
Yeah, they evolve.
Y'all, the criteria for the list is always moving because y'all are just.
Lists are a living document.
Listen,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying?
Y'all tried to be like he didn't have any like records that he helped to like put to number 1. I mean, I don't know how people felt about
no,
like.
he definitely has.
What?
I think
Of course.
Features?
a feature that
The
because
Dirk,
he
that
jumped on it, it went number 1 after the
record
fact.
was a number 1 record, wasn't it?
So
like
what?
even All My Life, right? That's the name of it. Even if people didn't
That was-
love it,
even-
that was a huge record.
No, we brought that.
That was
had-
Dirk's
and then
record, yeah.
the Young Thug one, the London.
The London,
I
yeah.
think that was like one of, if not Thugger's like highest charting like solo song with
all
that
right,
Cole
all right.
feature on
Okay.
it. Like
Oh, you
he
did
had
it.
the
Oh,
Nicki
you-
one.
No, she went home and did
Yeah,
her
no, yeah,
research.
she did the research.
He
She
does
wasn't
it
gonna let
across
y'all slide.
genres.
Yeah.
He did K-pop. Yeah, because y'all be hitting me off guard with this shit. I don't have all
it's
this
Cole's
stuff in
biggest
my
fan
head.
with- And you know, Cole fans, they're from college.
I also
so
need
they
to
gonna
point
go back and do.
I'm so glad you said this. I also need to point out to the audience, some of y'all
we
catch
go.
on. You see the instigating look on Ebro's face. And Eddie, we cannot have a rational conversation here about Cole where I can list some
don't fuck with
facts.
Cole fans.
With
They will do a
facts.
motherfucking thesis paper on
She
your
went
podcast.
home.
You guys see
She
what
went home last week and was like, oh
Nah,
yeah,
fuck
Eddie thought
that.
he was
They not
getting his
playing
shit
with
off.
my guy
I'm
Cole
getting my
this
shit off
bitch.
this
Keep
week.
going, Nadeska. Keep going.
No, I can't. It's like some high school shit. Like I cannot have a conversation about him without them fucking having a meltdown. It's nuts. But yeah, sorry. I didn't defend him enough last week. Y'all were fucking tripping. Someone said that Miguel like feature he had was his
yes.
That was what.
That was great,
record.
but like if we're talking
Wait,
about
which one was
R&B,
that?
what about the Summer
Miguel's first
Walker
album.
feature that he did? I'm just saying he's
No,
even
I'm
done.
agreeing with you. Cole's got legendary features.
No, he's out again.
Are we just? I don't understand what.
No,
You and your-
yeah.
Oh, you went back and did the paper, so now it's like nobody can't say nothing. This her research paper now. Can't nobody chime in.
She got the dissertation like you can.
Nah, my bad. Y'all wasn't here for me last week. Don't chime in.
I'm
now.
gonna do a supercut of every time we talk about Cole, and you'll see the shit ends just like this. Anyway, what else were they upset about?
And then Nicki Minaj not being on Eddie's list, bro. The Barb's got something to say. How you didn't put Nicki on your list, man?
Nicki got the one crazy, insane Hall
Monster.
of Fame monster verse that everyone loves.
What? Yeah,
It's
like
great.
what actual features that like really that Nicki? Yeah, like really like.
Don't do it, bro.
No, I'm asked like.
Bro, let
okay,
me go
I
ahead
hear all
and
the
start
chat,
working
like-
on the thesis now, bro. So
No, what? All right, so you got Monster.
My remix, the YG.
Ooh.
No,
She-
no.
she-
Hello, good morning.
what are you talking about? Even when she was on the Yo Gotti record, 5-star back in the day, that popped her off. That was big too.
5-star. That's
she got
3.
what's the one with Ludacris? My Chick Bad went crazy.
Rake it up.
Yep, My Chick Bad went crazy. Rake
My
It Up
Chick-
went
yeah.
crazy.
My Chick Bad.
Motorsport,
the pop-
which is
Nah.
that's
She
the
been on-
Cardi jump off of the beef, ain't it?
And she be on all those pop dance
Wait, Cardi
records
got
back in the
what?
day.
Cardi got what?
When Cardi was on Motorsport, right?
They both were.
Yeah, Cardi got that.
Cardi
Well,
outdid
didn't the
Nicki on that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. What about Big Sean ass?
Yeah.
Yeah, ass.
Ass was dope.
Maybe
Shout
for
to
one of our
cosign.
end of year episodes, since Eddie got his list off, we
What
need
about
to do
2
like a
Chainz? I
full
love them
feature,
strippers.
full feature episode.
I mean, she just wouldn't make my top 5. It's cool. I mean, there's a lot of great artists.
She got a
J. Cole
lot of
didn't make
great
my top
features. Yeah,
5.
she's not in my top 5.
Jay-Z wasn't in my top 5, y'all. Like,
Nigga,
more of y'all should
Jay
be mad
no
at me
whole
for not having
features?
Jay-Z.
Well, it was
You-
only a
no.
couple of the bars, but
oh.
now that Lowe said what he said about Motorsport, brace the comments.
Come on,
Buckle
bro,
up.
like,
Put
come
your
on.
helmets on, hands and feet in the ride. It's
It was good knowing
Rap
y'all.
Life Review, man.
What's good, Nadeska here. If you made it through that entire episode of the Rap Life Review, that means you're really a fan. Hit that like button so we know it's real. Subscribe if you never want to miss an episode. And of course, if you really have something to say, drop a comment and we'll hit you back on next week's episode.